So, have you heard there's some people who would like to be your next U.S. Senate, and there are a bunch of candidates. U.S. Senator is what I was actually trying to spit out. There are a bunch of candidates, and one of those candidates, Mike Gibbons, is joining me right now. And hey, Mike, welcome again to the Mark Blazor Show. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Hey, so the Rand Paul endorsement, pretty interesting. And the first thing that I thought of, and I think a lot of people are thinking of when they hear Rand Paul's name, is they think of the hearings and him and Anthony Fauci sparring and all of those things that happened during that, and how feisty Rand is and how accurate he is, too. So talk a bit how did that come about?
Well, I met him back in 2018, and we talked a lot over the years and got to know each other. At one point, he said, you don't seem to disagree with me on much, or I don't disagree with you on much. And when I decided to run, he said, I'd love to have you standing next to me. And he said, together we could do great things. And I said, well, I think we could too.
Well, yeah, pretty exciting for sure to get Rand Paul's endorsement. And I know those are, those endorsements from the big leaders, if you will, is pretty coveted right about now, because I'm not seeing any other really big endorsements in this race right now.
Well, the big one, and that hasn't come, but there's endorsements, and I think endorsements are great, and I think Rand Paul's particularly good because, we've had so many people run for Republican office in Ohio and get elected and then turn out to not be what we expected. And I got to believe that if you have any issues with me and my conservatism, they should be allayed by the fact that Rand Paul is willing to endorse me.
Right.
So there is an advantage there, but a lot, endorsements are fine, but it really you need to get to the people that vote, and that seems to be what we're doing.
So we're seeing a lot right now. I mean, it seems like it's everything. Topic A is gas prices, oil, gas prices, Russia, all of these things. Your thoughts on the Biden administration trying to pawn this off, and this is recent, like yesterday, this all started last night and so on, trying to blame the gas prices on Putin right now is absolutely right. It's laughable. And, Mike, we've been saying on the show, we started yesterday, we're like, please, American people, do not fall for this. This is crap that they're trying to say that these gas prices we're having right now are Putin's fault. This has been happening for over a year, moving this direction. And I don't know, your thoughts on this?
Well, when Biden was elected, one of the first thing he did was cancel the Keystone Pipeline. Probably not an influence on gas prices because it was going to take a while to get online. But what he did is he sent a signal out to the fossil fuel industry. Heck, he tried to get people that wanted to destroy the industry nominated to some very important positions. And, literally a person that he endorsed for the Federal Reserve Board said she wanted to see them all bankrupt. That sends a message to people that run energy companies, and those people make investment decisions every day, and what they do is very risky. And when you are hearing that your industry is going to be destroyed, are you going to put the dollars into expanding an existing field or explore new areas or step up production when basically they're telling you you're not wanted? And that's exactly what happened. And that is when gas prices started to go up. This production was canceled and wells were shut down, and this was happening long before Putin ever came onto the scene. And now that Putin's there, now and what we did when we gave up, we gave up energy independence, and in exchange we gave Putin massive leverage over us and Europe. And there's only one person to blame for the gas prices. And I might say this is different than almost any other president that's faced this, because we've had price surges before. In this case, the president is clearly responsible for every nickel of price increase.
Yeah, we have the highest national average in history right now. And I don't care what he tries to do. He can't get that stink off of him. He just won't be able to. Boy, these when we're talking about the midterms coming up, and then, of course, in 24, but boy, the direction this is heading, this administration, just one disaster after another.
Absolutely.
It has been.
I can't think of anything he's done correctly.
And that's what we say, Mike. We say that on the air. We talk about it all the time, just about every day. We're like, listen, if you have something that he has done that's been positive for America, please. I mean, he's done nothing but lie from the very beginning on the types of things that he promised was going to happen if he got into office, and it has been an about face ever since. It's unbelievable.
I agree. I mean, as Americans, we all want our president, no matter what party they are, to succeed. This guy can't come close. Everything's a debacle. Everything. Every decision is stupid. Every single decision.
U.S. Senate candidate Mike Gibbons joining me now. So, Mike, what will you get started on immediately to benefit Ohio if you end up being the guy?
Well, I can tell you this. I'm the businessman remaining in the race. I used to say there's a whole football team. We're one less of the football team now running. And frankly, I know how jobs and why jobs come to states. I think I can, help our state government in ways that no other senator's been able to do it in the past. I've been an investment banker my whole life. I'm a numbers guy. I know why companies move to a state. I know what tax rates do to investment decisions. I've sat on tremendous number of public boards. I've seen those decisions made. We don't have those kinds of people in the U.S. Senate, and I think I can add a lot to the party there.
The State of the Union, when we were watching that, they're claiming they created 6 million jobs, and it was from a COVID-ravaged market that they're talking. Right. You can't have jobs come back and claim that you created them. That's the thing that is just, it is. I was saying to people before that this, State of the Union, please, at 8:45 p.m., take some Dramamine because your head's going to be spinning during this. The spin will be unbelievable. And you know what? He didn't disappoint. Good grief, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, kind of the irony I saw is he said, we're going to bring back manufacturing to America. We're going to buy American. Well, and then in the next breath he said, and by the way, we're going to tax the heck out of you. There's two ways to make this economy explode. One of them is reducing tax rates, and the other one on businesses, and most small businesses are taxed as personal income, and you lower tax rates, and there will be more jobs created, there will be more capital expenditures, there'll be more growth, and then get these ridiculous regulations out of the way. There isn't a day that goes by when the EPA or OSHA or somebody's coming in with some ridiculous new rule, and that's kind of what the Democrats want to do. They want to control every aspect of our lives, and that's what we're seeing going on right now.
Right.
We need to change things.
U.S. Senate candidate Mike Gibbons joining me now. And so, what do you say to the person who says when they watch all of the different ads for everybody, and you said you're just one short of a football team amount of candidates here, that's actually crazy when you hear that's a big number. But anyway, so being involved or being among those candidates, to make yourself different from the other candidates as we're getting down to crunch here, there's a lot of the same stuff being said. I mean, there's a lot of talking points about, the supply chain issues and the prices at the gas pump and prices at the grocery store and the border still unchecked. There's a lot of these kind of all of these talking points that we're hearing a lot. So the difference between you and the other candidates, what would you say to somebody who would ask you that?
Well, as I said, I'm a businessman. I'm a regular guy. I started with nothing in Cleveland, Ohio. My dad was a high school teacher and a wrestling coach, and always had 2 full-time jobs. And I'm a regular guy. And when I go out and I speak, I tell the truth. And the other candidates, a lot of them, either a celebrity or a party insider or a career politician. And I'm running against a person that's never had a day of work in the private sector. I mean, can you imagine that? And this person is going to wants to go to Washington and represent the American voter. I mean, it's absurd, and I think people see that, and I think you're seeing it in the polls. You're seeing it reflected in the polls. We think our actual polling numbers are much better than the ones that Fox News just came out with. There was a recent one, another public poll that was quite a bit had a bigger margin, but in our paperwork, we're winning by quite a substantial margin, and I think it's because we've been around the state. We get out, we talk to people. There's been an outpouring of support, and I'm couldn't be more pleased.
Hey, when you're going around and you're meeting people, Mike, around the state of Ohio and so on, what is the biggest thing that they're saying? What seems to be the recurring, thought from somebody who would, they're concerned, they're worried about. Is there one kind of thing that you kind of hear more than any other things about the state of Ohio?
It's varied. It's varied. Inflation's certainly a big one. Since the Ukraine debacle, that's on everybody's mind. But you'll have some people that are concerned about life. You'll have somebody, about right to life. You'll have people that are concerned about, the Second Amendment and the attempted grab of guns by the Democrats. There's varying interests all over. I can tell you one thing, though: the average person I meet on the street, the one consistent thing is we're voting for you when I meet them, and there's been an outpouring that I never knew could happen. I've kind of joined my anonymity over the years, and now I haven't been able to go into a gas station or a McDonald's without somebody coming up and saying we're supporting you. And I really find that gratifying. The hard work that I've been doing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Obviously, you're dumping a lot of money, spending a lot of money in this
yes.
in this race. So it sounds like you're seeing some fruits of that labor here. Then sounds like.
Well, I think we are, and when I'm riding around, I'll talk to my kids and I'll say, "Hey, I'm out spending your inheritance." They kind of laugh. And what I haven't been able to convince them completely, but I think I'm starting to, is I'm doing this for them. I've achieved the American dream, and I really find it insulting when somebody says that the American dream doesn't exist. As I grew up in Parma, Ohio. If a guy from Parma, Ohio can build an investment banking firm, anybody can achieve the American dream, I believe, if they want to work hard enough.